What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. And if it's your first time here, I want to thank you too. So what I want to do today is I want to get into my top 10 Marvel scenes, but I want to do things a little bit different and we're going to spice it up. So what I'm thinking is instead of just going 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, because you know, Marvel has scenes, we could do a top 100 and everything will be lit, right? So what I want to do is I want to give as many of these scenes hood titles as possible. I came up with a few of them. Not every one of them is going to have one, but I do have a couple of them that I'm like, wow, this one fits that one perfectly. You know what I'm saying? So for this Friday night, what we're going to do is we're just going to have fun with it. We're going to go in, we're going to check out these scenes, and we're going to try to name them accordingly. Not everyone's going to have a crazy name, but let's see what's going on and let me know if you agree. Starting off with number 10, the My Shorty Better Than Yours award is gonna have to go to Black Widow. I mean, I like this fight scene for a couple of reasons. Now, this is the first time that I saw Black Widow get it popping, and this is also the first time that I was like, whoa, in love with Scarlett Johansson. I don't know about you guys, but as far as female characters are concerned, this was the first time in live action that I was really impressed. I also didn't know that I was going to appreciate her red hair so much. I mean, I like the blonde hair, but this red hair is really popping. I cannot help but feel like she is giving me trap queen vibes right here. This is every dude's ride or die wifey status. I don't really care what you're talking about. Everybody wants a shorty like this. This scene also came out in Iron Man 2, so we was already plotting from the beginning like, hold up. I think she's somebody that she's pretending not to be, so we kind of had those vibes already, and then when this popped out, we was all like, yo, stop playing with me. This scene is one of the top female fight scenes in my opinion. Is this the best female fight scene ever? I mean, I don't know. That's up to you. That's your personal opinion. It's all down to preference. But the My Shorty is Better Than Your Shorty award is going to Black Widow. Moving up to number 9, the That's All You Got award is going to Hulk vs. Thanos. Now, come on, man. There's nobody that's going to tell me that they saw this coming. This scene right here is one of the most epic intros I have ever seen in my life. In one scene, we see Thanos 1v1 Hulk, which we never thought was possible, while we got Thor in a submission hold, and then he just ends off the scene cracking Loki's neck. I mean, come on, nobody saw that coming. And that was before the intro credits even rolled. That was before the Infinity War logo even dropped. We already saw the stakes were super high. Before this scene ever dropped, we already knew that Thanos was popping, but when we saw him 1v1 Hulk, I think everybody said to themselves, oh, this is gonna be a problem. I mean, I'm making up these awards as I go along, but that title fits. The That's All You Got award goes to Hulk. Moving up to number 8, the I'll Run Through Your Whole Squad award goes to Winter Soldier from Civil War. Now, one thing about Bucky that I can honestly admit is that he's one of the most nerfed characters in the MCU, because when this scene came out, he was running through the Avengers single-handedly. And when I say single-handedly, I mean that was a pun, whatever. Bucky Barnes was never the same after this movie right here. He came in this movie and he set the tone, especially with this scene. I mean, he was 1v1 in every single member of the Avengers back to back with no rest and just keeping it walking like whatever, I got a mission. It's also crazy because this was also the first time that we saw Black Panther, and this movie had so many epic moments, but I'm gonna have to pick this one because I feel like he stole the show. He was the bad guy and he really made it come to life. Bucky Barnes is gonna get the award for I Will Run Through Your Whole Squad right now. That is him, and that's what I'm feeling. Here we are with number 7, and that's going to have to be the You and Your Mans Are Soft award. Now, I will be 100% honest, I have never been the biggest Iron Man fan, at least when I was growing up. I understand that Iron Man was one of the few characters that had left, and then they built on him, and then he built the MCU in return. Now that that's out the way, this scene right here made me really give my respect to Iron Man. I mean, he was holding his own against 2 super soldiers, Captain America and Winter Soldier, at the same time, and he was not doing a bad job. You really felt Iron Man's pain in this scene right here, especially when he looked at Steve and he asked him like, did you know? And Steve started stuttering and Iron Man was like, oh hell nah, you know what, screw you and your mans. That's real life stuff right there. Who has not been through that? Who has not been betrayed? Who has not had a friend turn their back on them for somebody else? That was real life to me right there. And for that reason alone, I'm gonna have to give the You and Your Mans Are Soft award to Iron Man. Number 6 is gonna have to go to Daredevil, and we're gonna call this I will dog walk everybody in this building award. This fight scene right here is an absolute classic. I don't care what nobody tells me. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this whole scene was shot in one take, which is like phenomenal. On top of that, Daredevil has both of his hands hindered. He got no bullets in the gun. He got a chain in the other one, and both hands are duct taped. Not to mention that this is a Netflix series, and this is what Disney Plus should have been trying to strive to instead of making all that watered down content that they did. One of the things that I really love about all Netflix fight scenes is the fact that they're extremely realistic. You can see Daredevil getting tired. You see Punisher getting tired. You see all of these people at the end of their fight being winded, which makes it realistic. Like, and you know, in regular MCU movies, these guys will fight an army of 500 and won't be out of breath. You know what I'm saying? With Daredevil, that's not really the case. I actually feel like, yo, this might could happen. So yeah, number 6 is gonna have to go to Daredevil with the I will dog walk everybody in this building award. Halfway up the list to number 5, and we're gonna have to call this one the Your Hand Skills Ain't Better Than Mine award. Not for nothing, this movie dropped in 2016, but am I the only one that's thinking if this would have dropped in 2020, those Winter Soldier masks would have sold out for COVID, no question. The highlight here is not gonna be the Black Widow fight because she was just there just to be there, but the highlight for this fight is gonna be Captain America versus Winter Soldier. This was a fight right here when you was like, oh, these two was like evenly matched. No matter what happened, there was really no decisive winner. And at this time, Captain America did not know that that was Bucky, so I'm pretty sure that he was giving it his all. I mean, this movie right here was special. I mean, it was a Captain America movie, but it felt more like an Avengers movie. And this movie alone could have a top 10, top 50 all by itself because it was like that special. But what stands out to me the most in this movie is the fact that this is one of the few MCU fights, one-on-one or group or whatever, that doesn't really have too many special effects. This is like straight hand skills. I mean, we got a couple of gunshots here and there. We got the shield flying, but there's no special effects. There's no CGI, fire. There's no nothing like that. This is straight hands. This is something you might see on the block from two individuals that may be highly skilled, but this looks very realistic. And once again, this movie is Winter Soldier at its finest. Here we are at number 4, and we're gonna have to call this one the What's My Name award. This scene right here is iconic for so many different reasons, but I'm gonna give it to the What's My Name award because he was like, and I am Iron Man. And that moment right there was epic. I mean, that moment was everything. The snap was emotional. We lost people for 5 years, but we also knew at the end of the day, we was gonna get those guys back, especially when we saw who was getting snapped, you know, like Spider-Man. But this was iconic. We knew this was the beginning of the end. This is where the trilogy was gonna stop. We all knew it was coming. We all knew the stakes was high, and this had all of our emotions going crazy. Come on, do not lie. If you look this up on YouTube, it's gonna be called I Am Iron Man, but I'm gonna call this the What's My Name award. Closing in at number 3, and I'm gonna have to call this the Stick to the Script award. I mean, every single thing that we have seen is like kind of loosely based on the comics, but this was pulled directly from a comic issue, comic cover, comic everything. This is super accurate. This is exactly the definition of stick to the script. This is what Netflix did right that the MCU currently is doing wrong. When I first saw this scene, I was like so nostalgic. I was like, yo, I cannot believe that they brought this to life. And not for nothing, this is a very touching scene with no action, no fighting, no special effects. This is straight dialogue, but you feel both sides of the coin right here. You feel Daredevil's side, and at the same time, you feel Punisher's side. And it's very hard to try to pick like, yo, who is right? Because no matter which way you go, you can kind of sell the argument. The Stick to the Script award is going to have to go to Punisher and Daredevil for the rooftop scene. Here we are at number 2, and this is going to have to be the Yas Not Low award, and that goes to Captain America. I remember the first time that I saw this scene, and I was like, OMG, yo, Captain America is a boss. Not only did he wash every single person in that elevator, but is it just me, or did Steve Rogers turn into Bruce Wayne in that elevator? I mean, he turned into the world's greatest detective. He looked around, he saw every single hand signal, every single body language, everything that people was not trying to show. He picked up on that and like like 2.5 seconds. And not only did he pick up on it, but he even gave him the chance to opt out. He looked at all the ops and he was like, yo, does anybody want to get off this elevator? And he gave him a chance to retreat. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how real is that? Even with one hand tied to the wall, he was able to give the business to these SHIELD/Hydra agents. And I was like, yo, this is for real. And then let's not forget when he jumped out the window and landed like 1,000 stories on a vibranium shield. I was like, yo, my shoulder would have been dislocated. But that's Captain America. Number 2 is going to have to go to Captain America for the Yas Not Low award. And finally, at number 1, we're going to have to give it to the Spider-Man No Way Home movie with the let me just give the fans what they want because everything I'm trying to do just isn't working award. And I know we still high off that dopamine hit that Deadpool and Wolverine gave us, but this was the first movie that I really felt like they started listening to us because the box office tickets was dropping. Right now, Deadpool and Wolverine, people are looking at it like, oh, that kind of saved the MCU. You know, people are looking at it like, oh, they might come back. But this was the first movie when there was in a drought that came out of nowhere and did like $1 billion+ and we did not expect that at all. And not for nothing, this was not like no secret recipe. This was not like, oh, we pulled something out the stash that we thought of ourselves. Not at all. This was something that everybody wanted. I have been dying to see Andrew Garfield come back. I mean, that's my favorite Spider-Man. It is what it is. But I do also know that a lot of people love Tobey Maguire. And then at the same time, we got Tom Holland, who's currently holding the baton. So this was the perfect movie just to put everything together. So at the number 1 spot, the award for let me give the fans what they finally want, and let me act like I just thought about it myself. I know I switched it. It's gonna have to go to Spider-Man No Way Home. And with that being said, that's my top 10 Marvel moments, and those are the awards that I want to give them for those moments right there. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on this Friday night and going through this list with me. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you think in the comments, and let me know if you feel the same. Try to do something different, try to do something fun, try to spice it up, you know? Be original. Until next time. Peace.